Hawks will kill them. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I pay my respects to their elders past and present and to elders from other communities who may be with us today. Uncle Chicka, thank you so much. Good to see you again, my friend. And also David McLeod leading with a welcome from the wonderfully rich culture of New Zealand, the Maori culture. So much song. Chicka, I was a bit disappointed in you, no song, but we can work on that. All that wonderful song from those young people, and it strikes me, continually impressed itself upon me. Last night, for example, Lynn and I were at the Sydney Dance Company and they did a new premiere of a new ballet. And I have to say, Katie Noonan, a wonderful singer, sang Benjamin Britten lyrics behind the dancers. And I was brought back over a year when Katie Noonan, in a wonderful and sad moment in St Patrick's Cathedral in Melbourne, led us all in a very mournful version of I Am Australian. You're not alone, we are with you, we are Australian. And that was inaugurated by Bruce Woodley, the writer of the song, after the Victorian bushfires, adapted into this anthem. And it's just this presence of song in our way of life. Is it part of leadership? Well, we felt led then. We felt led in our mourning, in our resolve to be vigilant about the prosecution of culprits, but more importantly, to offer solace and remembrance to those who'd been bereaved. So I'm totally with Jim about the heart and the head. And I believe that all of you are here today to weave your own personal fabric of recommitment to head, the smartest leadership within the education sector that's possible to have, and heart, the fundamental understanding of the obligation of the teacher to be everything. It was music to my ears to hear your President speak about the fact that, yes, you are social workers, you're whatever that child needs while they're in your care. You're everything. And you may even be those sorts of people whose vigilance assists something as dire, dreadful, unthinkable as terrible domestic violence in the child's home. Completing my greetings, Mark Donaldson, VC, is here. Mark's a wonderful man. I watched him receive his Victoria Cross from the Governor-General of the day and was in awe of a magnificent soldier. You're lucky people. Asha, Jim, thank you. Graham Stoop from New Zealand, all of our international visitors. I'm so thrilled to see you all in one place because it means that in schools and in institutions all around the world, kids are relieved by your absence. It strikes me there's a hard side to you all. Education is the key to our future. Of course it is. Our well-being depends on the existence of a highly skilled, intelligent and articulate workforce. That's great. I mean, if I was the Treasurer or something, I'd say that. However, what I would say is that we have no higher duty on earth, whether we are kings, presidents, governors, general, sporting icons, whatever we are. It's the nurturing of the younger people, obviously our own, but those in our charge and those near our influence. You play such a pivotal part in that. The fact that you're gathered in the name of leadership, courage, commitment to lead, to me, is a wonderfully uplifting thing to take away. You recognise that behind terms like human capital and knowledge economy, here comes the Treasurer in me again, there lies a good teacher. and you recognise that a good education and a good system does not exist without teachers of the highest calibre. Not just good educationalists, but, where necessary, social workers in loco parentis, teachers who inspire, teachers who nurture the potential in each and every student, teachers who encourage inquiry and help us to explore the wonder of our world, teachers who contribute and make a difference, and of course teachers that have the courage and commitment to lead us into the future. I mean, my school days are such a long time behind me, but we do reassemble our thinning ranks from time to time. And you know, yes, of course, we talk about each other and inquire after each other, but we return time after time to those iconic figures who were our leaders at school, the people who helped make us. I was at a boys' school here in Sydney, who helped make us whatever we became, mostly for good. Sometimes we were spectacular failures, but we remember those teachers as being mighty men and women. As children, we all remember the teacher, the course, the class, the year that left a real mark and inspired us to be our best selves and to make the most of our human capital. I had the honour not so long ago to be the Chancellor of a university, and that university specialised in producing teachers. And I can assure you that nothing gave me greater joy than to see these young people, and sometimes people of more mature years, coming up onto the stage to receive their testament from me. And you could see that there was this joy and impatience. And the impatience was to get cracking. So teachers who'd achieved an ever higher qualification, or ab initio teachers, all of them wanted to be back and doing. About the only thing that used to worry the soul case out of me was these women who'd come up in these enormously high heels. I'd be there, and it's like the first movement of a line dance that you do. Testament, shake hands. There you go, tip the hat, off you go. And I would always turn away when the women left the stage because they had to negotiate the steps. Out of the thousands of graduates I did over my time, only one went tumbling on my very last degree ceremony. I wanted to talk to you very briefly about leadership before I cede the floor. I'll let you have your next episode, and of course I think Mark Donaldson's coming along soon. You're here because you actually fulfil the very first requirement of any leader in any walk of life. You've accepted that you're accountable. You might curse when the phone rings at the inconvenient time. You might really grumble when the workload of an organiser, a director, a coach, an extracurricular voluntary thing you might do with your students comes back on you, but you've accepted, well, I'm the leader, I'm the boss, it's down to me. Accountability. Those people who don't take that inconvenient phone call, or who tell the person importuning them about the issue, oh, look, I'm really tired, can we do this, next week? Well, you've just started to degrade that accountability, that responsibility. And very often it will be your deep sense of commitment, your deep sense of professionalism, which will say, well, okay, yes, tell me all about it, I'm taking notes, I'll get onto it. I think you heard an example of a communicator with your president. He's passionate, isn't he? Eh? I thought I was going to have to put a leg rope on him. I've got an aeroplane leaving soon. But you want somebody like that, don't you? You don't want a sort of a rock up here, somebody who tries to lead by osmosis. Mark Donaldson will tell you that in the hurly-burly, the panic, the raw fear of combat, uttered leadership, oral leadership is sometimes pretty difficult. There's a lot of follow me, see what I do as I do. But that's leadership by osmosis, and it's got a limited span of communication, only those who see it. Personal example is hugely important, but you do need to be able to communicate. So Even if, you know, you're not the world's most articulate person, or you're even a little shy, the ability to pass on the leader's intent is hugely important. Now, you might expect that an old soldier like me, especially with a VC recipient in the room, would talk about courage, but I'll talk about it in a slightly different way. There is, of course, a physical courage one sees from time to time. Man runs into burning building, woman dives into flooded creek to rescue, whatever. But every leader, every day, has a test of their personal fortitude and their integrity. How easy is it to take the easier option? How much pressure is there to overlook something that is part of your standards? How much pressure is there to do a favour where one shouldn't be granted? How much pressure is there not to have that formative conversation with somebody who's not meeting the needs of the team, another teacher or a disruptive pupil? Postponing those moments. Integrity and courage get tested by leaders, or the integrity of courage of leaders is tested by life every day. There can be hubris. Imagine that. The Governor-General saying there can be hubris. Here I stand. I'm hubristic. Of course I am. You know, well, for a while, until I finish. Then I'll be nothing. But there's humility and compassion as part of the leader's repertoire. You know that the very best leaders that you know, you hope you see it when you look in the mirror, are people who are self-effacing, who, without diminishing their commitment, nonetheless see their own flaws, realise they are imperfect, strive harder every day, because there is no nirvana of leadership where you arrive and you're perfect and can't go wrong. So if you end up being arrogant, proud, then you'll end up leading only the image in your mirror, and you won't do that too well. Compassion. I don't think there should ever be a teacher in the world who lacks compassion. Perhaps I've seen one or two. I've certainly seen it in the army. People who lack compassion get worked out in a heartbeat. This sort of arrogant, sort of hard-charging leader that won't brook any kind of human frailty from anybody in the team, for a start, they're not humble enough. Secondly, those being led work them out in a heartbeat. I wonder, in the codified, highly compliant area of the education sector, whether there's a mistake-averse psychology. You should ask yourselves that. Are you so compliance-bound that people are terrified of making a mistake? Education's an adventure, not just for the student, but for the teacher, the leader. Adaptability. We're living in a world where our kids always know more about certain things than we ever will. And the leader who knows that there are people there with needs, wants and aptitudes beyond our experience, they're the best ones. They're the best teachers. Those who know that, yes, I've got a set of skills that I can impart, but boy, oh boy, this is a journey. And there are people here with needs, wants and capacities well beyond mine. Teamwork. Well, of course, you're all here. I'm just saying, you're Team ACEL. I don't see the T-shirt. He's probably got them there. They'll probably be in Eagles colours. I want to rush ahead. What about when things go wrong, weathering the storm? How are you? How are you when, you know, there's a dreadful situation and you're the leader and you don't know whether to join and empathise with those who are under enormous pressure, or to start organising, become dispassionate, detached, and start providing the nuts and bolts of resolution, or somewhere in between? What a dreadful dilemma. I had 11 people on a Sea King helicopter that crashed in Indonesia after the Asian tsunami, and nine of those folks were killed outright. I naturally had a lot of practical stuff to do straight away, but I made a point of going around when I first had contact with their mums and dads and just giving them a cuddle and being prepared for some rage. Why is my child dead? That sort of feedback, if you like. So I say to you now that the answer's somewhere in the middle. Leaders have to be, to some degree, dispassionate, but never, ever lose your natural sense of empathy. And the final point I wanted to make to you is when you share the glory. We've all got the classic moment where euphoric students, like university graduations or the end of the HSC or whenever, school break-up day, the euphoria is there, and if they're decent young people, they'll come up to you and wish you well and thank you for all that you've done. And then you'll see them in 40 years' time and you'll visualise them as the students they were, even as, you know, they arrive with a flag on their car. So I would say to you, your joy will be so often more internalised, because you literally have the great privilege of taking the national treasure of Australia or New Zealand or the United States, the national treasure, not the gold bars in Fort Knox, not the banknotes from the mint, none of that. The national treasure, our young people, and then they pass through your hands and enter society. So that glory will be internalised, but you do have a right today and on these several days to celebrate. I have much pleasure in opening the ACEL conference. Courage, commitment to lead, setting the learning agenda. Good luck to you all.